What is up, everybody? We are here to talk about the last and final episode of the Skeleton Crew and see what everybody thought about it right after this. All right, guys, we got the final episode of the Skeleton Crew that we just got through watching just a few minutes ago. See what you guys think, and then we'll go from there. Adelia, what'd you think about the final episode?
I really enjoyed the final episode. I thought it was really cool getting to see the kids use the skills that they pretty much learned on this adventure to sort of bring down Jod. I thought it was great that we had Fern's mom and Wim's dad involved. And Jod was just really menacing and clearly the villain of this show. And I thought it was great. I loved this series. I love this episode. This might have been one of my favorite episodes of the series.
Brandi.
I like the episode. Like Adelia said, we see Jude Law being the villain of this thing, and the kids, the things that they learned. You see, they're the ones that are more like, we gotta fix this, and the adults are like, no, like not being the ones to do anything, and the kids are the ones to save it all, basically. AB flying the ship. We knew that SM-33 wasn't gonna be it. Adelia even said KB's gonna put it together, and sure enough, she did. With the quickness too.
Yep.
With his head off and all.
Yep.
I
KB was badass in this episode.
Mm-hmm. I thought it was pretty cool that hold my head so I can see what I'm doing. Just holding his head while he's flying the ship.
Yep.
And oh my god, Fern's mom, I was like, just let her go! Just do it! And they needed to break the barrier and she didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you waiting for? I think you heard me yell.
Yeah.
But I liked it. I thought it was pretty good. I liked the show altogether, pretty much. But I need to know what is happening with him.
It was a very abrupt ending.
Yes. And now we don't know what's happening to him. It leaves it open for other things to be seen, but I don't know. I need to know what's happening with Jude Law's character.
Yeah.
He might be in the Mandalorian Grogu movie because there has been a couple of either leaks or rumors, whichever one they end up being, that there's a character or two that is from this show that actually might play a part in that movie. So you actually might be able to see Jude Law be part of that movie.
What if it's Wim?
Coming up.
What if it's Wim?
It is in the. It's supposed to be in the same time period, so any of these characters that survived can be in it.
Because he was looking to the sky, like when he seen all the X-wing, he was like, "Whoa!"
I mean, it might be just a couple of the dumb pirates. It might not be any of the like Jude Law or the kids. So it's according on what they try to do. I mean, what the only thing, because I really like the episode as well. The only thing I can say is like, man, my dude. He ever gets another opportunity to be a character in Star Wars, don't try to be funny. Don't try to do nothing with your voice. Just be normal or something. Because there's a scene in this one I started kind of laughing because he's aiming at the one ship and he's telling them like, "Hey, aim the battery or whatever at this ship over here." And then like the way he says it, I'm like, "This mother." Gosh, what is it? Yeah.
Julia White.
Yeah, White. Like. Yeah, don't try to do anything special with your voice next time. Probably just go with what your real voice is, to be honest with you, because that's the only thing, but that's like super minor. I thought the episode was really good. I also thought it was super cool. Like you're watching like something made for like the family or kids. And it had messaging in here, I thought, especially after seeing this episode that I wasn't really thinking about until now. That was pretty cool, like lessons and stuff that you can learn. And it wasn't beating you over the face with it. It's something that I just happened to think about, but it wasn't, it was really like after the thing was over and I kind of realized it, like I said, because it was kind of subtle, was like this whole, like, and it could come into play as to be like a good lesson for a lot of people to learn, especially with like, if you're younger and you had to go through COVID and all that stuff, because to me, the underlying message, whether by accident or something that they were trying to do, like that they knew they were doing it, was, you know, being kept, like it could be twofold. Like, one, parents trying to keep their kids safe from the rest of the world, and this way it'll be rest of the galaxy, and not wanting to let go. But at the same time, it's also could be something that's like on the kid side, could be like we're held into this thing, you know what I'm saying? We're being like just kind of like sort of held back or whatever. And being protected too much, and the fears and stuff that you could have, trying to break out of that and become more independent and everything else. But like I said, I don't feel like they did it like beat you over the head with the messaging or whatever that was in there. It was kind of a good lesson that you can learn by watching the show and seeing like how everything kind of played out. That's one thing I do like, because I do think that some people sometimes try to, like, whatever message they're trying to put out there, they try to like keep banging the drum, and it's like, all right, cool, I already know, just do your movie and make a good movie, or a show in this case. And man, I really did enjoy it. I thought it was really fun. The only thing that I think, like, ideal wise, that would have made me be like over the moon for this show, that I might would have like started ranking it as one of the best. It is going to be one of the best shows that Star Wars has done since Disney got it on the Disney Plus. I will say that already, but it might have rivaled Andor to me, and maybe even one of the seasons of Mandalorian, if we would have had the sacrifice. Because I know you girls was like all happy because KB falls out on the gold, and you know, whenever it happens, I know like she's gonna breathe or make a sound after a couple of seconds if I'm feeling all sad. But like, to me, if there would have been a sacrifice, like one of the kids would have went down in this adventure, you know, the close call we have with William or KB, whichever one, but yet they still won. Oh man, that to me could have been like, that would have put it up there. But it's still up there. But I just don't know if I'll put it over like Andor or one of the first couple of seasons of Mandalorian.
Justin wants a child to die. Duly noted.
Yeah, I think it's really hard to end on the note that they ended this show on, with the kids being triumphant over this gang of pirates that's been basically chasing them through the galaxy since they first emerged on that ship. If you kill one of the kids,
it would be tough. But that's one of the things. It would. That's why I'm saying that I'm not saying that it was completely wrong, because obviously I know you two aren't going to, you know, think like I do or whatever about it. Y'all are going to be happy that it had the super happy ending, the normal happy ending that a lot of stories have. But I'm like, man, I still enjoyed it. Still,
someone did get killed. It's me, SM33.
Nah, he's still walking. He's like carrying his head out of the ship whenever they were.
He died a little bit before, and then they brought him back. So,
but with that being said, because during this show, during this journey that we had the 8 episodes. There was only one that I called that I didn't like as much, that I called weaker. The rest of the episodes I thoroughly enjoyed. There was a couple of design things that I didn't like love, but other than that, I think the show was pretty solid to good. Some people might even think it's great, and I can understand it. I've said it a couple of times during our reviews that, like, if you didn't watch this show and you just sat back because like you were afraid because Star Wars has been kind of like not doing very well in the last couple of things they did, like, you actually missed out on this show, because I actually think it was done well, written well. I thought it was acted. There isn't really like a super weak person or thing in the show that I could say is like bad. I just thought that one episode was a little bit rushed, but besides that, like, that's just one episode. I can deal with one episode not being a super good, or maybe you rush something in one episode. It's whenever you have to do that 3 or 4 episodes that makes the show not great. And I think this show just had that one to me, and y'all didn't even agree with that. So like I'm saying, I'm pretty positive about this show overall, and you two probably even think it's better than that, because y'all, like I said, y'all didn't have as many problems with that one episode as I did.
Probably. I mean, I thoroughly enjoy this. This is my second favorite of the Disney Plus shows after Andor. Mandalorian is good, but like that third season kind of really drug it down for me, and I just think this was better. I had zero expectations for this show, especially coming off what we came off of with The Acolyte, and then going into this. It's focused on a group of kids, not even like teenagers, but like kids. And I tend to have a lot of problems with child actors because I just don't think they're usually directed well or very good. And these kids were directed well and they were very good.
Yeah, they were written well. Yeah.
They were written well. I connected with all four of them. Neil is going to be precious to me in Star Wars forever, even if we never see him again, because that was so cute and so well done. The way they did it with the prosthetic combined with some CGI and stuff to move the trunk around, and that actor, that kid that played him, did a phenomenal job. When you never see his face, they somehow still made him be able to emote, and he did that with his voice, and that was fantastic. Jude Law also was fantastic in this series. He didn't overpower the scenes with the kids. The kids still felt like they had their own autonomy, even when he was, the villain in control of the scene. I love this show. I love it.
And I can understand why people do. Two things real quick. So I was getting to at one point, but got a little sidetracked. But my point was going to be is that if one of these kids during this journey that we took at 8 episodes, if one of these kids would have bit the dust, let's say KB doesn't survive the crash, and like, man, I probably would have teared up. Like I had gotten to like these characters and these kid actors and everything. Either one of them, like if Wim would have actually got like seriously injured or died, trying when they were going away and his little speeder bike gets shot down, like, and that's one of the things that I would say, like, I might have teared up a little bit as a grown ass man because I actually enjoyed these characters and these kids, and I think it would have like hit hard. It would have been like a ballsy move, but I would have loved that because I would have been sitting over here. I might have been sitting over here shaking my head, not being able to talk a little bit, probably having to swallow down some emotion or whatever, because I did think that they did really well. I thought Jude Law did pretty good. And the other thing I'll say is like, after last episode, when me and Brandi was talking about that last episode after we watched it, I had went from 100% being able to predict what was going to happen to like a 60-40. And then I even lost that because they didn't go that route. He stayed the villain the whole entire time. And you look on his face is probably him being able to probably sneak out of there somehow and still getting away kind of thing. But yeah, they didn't do that. They didn't do the predictable thing that you think was going to happen. He stayed being the bad guy and like pretty damn ruthless, to be honest with you. And then I think that they didn't make him look like a joke either at any point, because there was enough, like the kids and the parents all had to work together to overcome him. And that's just too many things for him to keep his eyes on. And he still like almost won. So it didn't make him look less daunting or like a joke at the end. So I actually thought that was done well as well.
KB's my favorite, so no, I didn't want her dying. He was my favorite. Definitely KB was my favorite, so no to the dying of KB. That's why I was like, no, she didn't die. When I was like, she landed somehow, but she didn't die. She's
yeah. That's my only thing is when shows like this,
it would have been a bigger explosion.
Shows like this never get me, and this show would have got me. Like I might would have came out of here and it would have been like a recency bias kind of situation where I'm like, this is the best show they've been done on Disney Plus, period. Because
she would have died, I would have been like, this is horrible. I don't like it.
It would have been awful if KB had died or any of the kids had died. I understand your point, Justin, but like, I don't want to see a kid die.
You know what? I would say Wim's father taking the sacrifice if he didn't take out one of the kids somehow. Like
I thought for a moment there that he was going to tell Wim to do it and sacrifice himself.
That would have probably also got me, because I do think the father did a pretty good job with the little time that he had, and then like at the very beginning of this episode, he shows like, oh God, like I'm having an adventure too kind of thing. So like he's even having a little bit of fun trying to get away from the pirates and everything else. And he's kind of like starting to fit in. And then to have him, possibly but because my point being is when I watch these shows like this, it's almost like I'm watching Hallmark, where okay, we know it's according on what movie you're watching,
Hallmark.
but you're watching like Hallmark or like one of those other channels that has these like movies that you can predict 2 minutes into it, like, oh, this guy's going to be a piece of shit, and then this guy's going to come in and save the day for her and sweep her off her feet, kind of bullshit. You know, the little love stories you see on the
Justin's
TV.
watching Hallmark with me next.
But it's like, it's going to be crap, because like, that's my point. It's like when moments, so when the ship goes down, and they definitely don't show it like burst into flames and blow up, right? They kind of show a little bit of dust coming up and whatnot. It's like when she falls out of the ship, I'm like, come on, man, y'all ain't got to try to make it dramatic. I know she should have just, like, I would have liked it better if she just comes, like, she kind of goes down with the gold like they kind of did in the scene, but instead of her like laying down looking like she might not be breathing, like she kind of just rides the gold down out of the thing and says, what's up, guys? Like, I would have liked that better than doing the fake, oh, well, she might have, because we all know she ain't dead. We all know she ain't dead. Like,
we didn't know.
What are you doing?
We didn't know.
Like, that crap don't work on me. I'm just sitting over here going like, okay, when's she gonna breathe? Then the little subtitle says
it might not work on you, Justin, but it does work.
It
on
definitely would work on a younger
children.
Crowd.
It
definitely would work
on the audience that this show is basically made for, which was a younger audience, to bring them into Star Wars. And I think this is a great like jumping off point to bring kids into Star Wars.
Oh, definitely. Like if you have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years old, any of those ages, because I don't think any younger than that, they would be able to understand most of it or whatever. They might think it's cool that there's some ships flying around younger than that. But yeah, I definitely think that's a good jump off point. And I think the story's good enough for them to jump off and they can have enjoyment. But I will say, just like some of the magic that Disney had before kind of showcases a little bit in this show. And when I say that it's like The Lion King, right? As a grown-ass adult, technically, I'm probably not supposed to go in there and enjoy the crap out of it. But that's a top movie.
Why
not? That movie's great.
Why?
The Lion King and like some of the other Disney stuff they've done, especially back in the day, like you could still watch it with your kids and still get in super a great amount, maybe even be one of your favorite movies as an adult, because they give you enough to like it. It's not no dumb cartoon. It's a story that's got like really cool stuff in it, cool scenes in it.
That's Disney for you.
Right, but come on.
I don't
Disney
have kids, and I like shows. I like animated stuff. I'll go watch it.
What are you talking about? I didn't say you couldn't like it if you're not kids. I'm saying that they put enough adult stuff in there that if you watch it when you're older, like you're going to the movie theater and you're like, hey, I'm going to take my kid. There's a lot of adults that did this when The Lion King first got released. They took their kids to the movies and then they watched it and it became their favorite movie, even though technically they were only going there for the kids because Disney had that ability to, even like the Toy Story movies and stuff. In Pixar,
yeah, the stuff they put in there for adults that goes right over the head of kids. They don't understand it, but the adults get the references.
Right,
yeah,
the meanings that I was just talking about. The meanings I was talking about, not really hidden, but subtle meanings like that you could take away from this show. For instance, little kids like even 10, 11, and 12 may not get and understand like me as an adult did. So they gave me enough mystery. They gave me enough of Jude Law being an actual like bad guy and an actual legit bad guy that you almost was like, oh shit. Like they did that kind of stuff to a level that even as an adult, if you sat down with your kids, you're going to love this as well. Not saying that's the opposite of what I was trying to say, Brandi. I wasn't saying that.
I thought you were saying that we couldn't go see it. Like I was like, what are you talking about? I'm going.
We're all three.
Anytime.
Why would I say that? We're all three adults.
Anytime I want to.
What are you talking about? Like, why would I say that? We all three are adults that are at home.
I you would say it. That's what I'm like confused at first. Listen,
by ourselves watching the show.
I've had a tough day.
But anyway, with that being said, because Disney used to hit home run, home run, home run, home run. MCU was home run, home run, home run. You'd have one or two doubles or singles, right? But at least they were base hits. But here more recently, for whatever reason, a lot of their things aren't as good. Like some things can be good, but they're not great, right? Like, and I think, like I said before, this, if we were to put the shows out there, this is right now Andor. See, I don't even want to say it's really better than Andor. I want to say that Andor is better than this because I almost want to say they're even. The only reason why I probably give Andor a leg up is because it is more adult oriented, and I'm an adult now, so maybe I'm going to have a little bit of a bias towards that one. So I almost want to call them even. I want to say the first 2 seasons of The Mandalorian that I super enjoyed is probably better than this overall, but we've only got 1 season of this. So like if they did a second season and were to do as good of a job they did this season, I might even change on that a little bit. But this is definitely one of the best projects they did. And it's over. I think it's better than Ahsoka. I think it's better so far. I think it's better than Obi-Wan. Obviously better than the Book of Boba Fett, better than the 3rd season of The Mandalorian. I think it's better than all those. And it's better than some of the movies they put out.
I agree with that too. I think that I really enjoy the fact that we didn't have like the CGI de-aged Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker show up to save the day with the X-Wings. We got a bunch of X-Wing pilots that I don't think we've ever seen before. We didn't even get Carson Teva, that one guy that's been in The Mandalorian and Ahsoka and all the other shows. It just seemed like this was a standalone series that you didn't have to see anything else to understand what was going on.
Yeah,
and I really enjoyed that aspect of it.
And someone like me gave me a little bit of a thing to think about, like, right? So we saw it's not actually the Home One, but we saw a ship that is the same kind of ship that Home One is, like from the original Star Wars, the big ship that shows up at the end. It's like, who's on that?
Yeah.
Who's showing up on that thing? Like, who's the commander of that ship, or who's there to see like what's going on here? That would be cool and interesting to know. And to kind
That's
of
why I
speculate
say
on
it ended so abruptly. Like, we don't know what happens with Jod. We don't know what happens with, the New Republic showing up on Ad-Atten. It just ends. And, I think that's in a way kind of good that they don't try to tie it into 18 other things that they have planned coming up. It would have been nice to have an actual, ending for those things.
No, I will say this. Game of Thrones, I think, through all their years, and even House of the Dragon so far does it pretty good, is you have this, well, except for this last season, and that's why I think they actually fell down a little bit, because they couldn't do everything because of the writer's strike and everything, so they had to cut that season a little shorter than they wanted to, and it would have worked, I think, better if they would have been able to do what they were planning on doing to begin with. But that era of Max putting those 2 shows together was always really cool to me, because like say if they had 10 episodes, the 9th episode is going to be that episode where shit hits the fan. It's going to be nasty, right? Like a bunch of things are happening. And then that final episode of the season was to bring all that stuff together, let you digest what you got in the last episode. You see a little bit of the fallout that would be from what happened in that last episode. I actually agree. Like, if this show had 9 episodes instead of 8, and the 9th episode was us seeing, what they try to actually do, like see a little bit about what the Republic's trying to do, even though maybe you don't have a crap ton of action, I think, or like you could have just had a longer episode here and added another 15 minutes or so. Because I do agree with that. It kind of ends. You kind of guess Jod's getting away, but like, what is the Republic actually going to do here? Are they going to come in and actually be the true good guys and like do their thing? Because like, hey, they might need money too. So are they going to come in here and try to rob these people of all this damn money and shit on this planet too? Like, that could happen as well, according on what direction they took it.
Yeah.
Who's making all the money? Those robots?
I don't know. Like,
they're digging it from the planet.
Yeah, somebody's actually minting all of those credits. I want to also say that I think Mick Giacchino did a fantastic job with the music in this series. I thought the music was great. And John Watts, who co-created the series and directed, I think, the first and the last episodes, I think he did a great job. Because I don't know that it sort of feels to me like they he came up with an idea, he pitched it to them, they said, yeah, let's do it, and then they stayed out of his way. And they didn't try to connect it to every other thing they have going on. And yeah, we might see some characters from this show in the Mandalorian and Grogu movie or whatever, but that's okay, because we've already established those characters here, and now they can go out into the galaxy and have an adventure with them. The only character in this show that I can tell that we've seen before is that one pirate that was in Mandalorian season 3.
Yep.
And that's it. And I think that was just enough continuity. And I just think they did a really good job with letting them tell the story they wanted to tell.
No, I think they did a lot of things that I liked. Like we had the one pirate that was like basically the werewolf looking dude. Like they took a character from the original series, from the original 3 movies that was sitting in the cantina that everybody would pause and be like, because he didn't even say anything in the scene, but he was just sitting over there drinking a drink or whatever, and it was like a werewolf looking guy. And everybody paused and stopped and said, "Who the hell is that guy?" Right? Everybody wanted to know, like, what does that guy do? He looks like a werewolf. That's cool looking, whatever. And they took one of those style characters and actually made him a character in this show. They did a couple of things during the show to kind of remind you of Star. Like I said, I think I just said it about one of the things that I just did on being live over at Twitch and talking about one of the projects that's coming up is when you get people that literally care for the stuff that you're doing and they don't really want to do, they don't necessarily come in thinking I'm better than anyone else. They come in and with respect and love for the story they're trying to tell. Like this is a new story, so they wasn't taking an old story, but they're dealing with Star Wars. It was like the people that were in charge of this particular project cared about Star Wars. And if I feel that, like I said, there's a couple of things that, like, especially that first episode, like the way the actual city worked and stuff, I wasn't feeling 100%, but I'm able to like see all the other things that's going on around it and be like, you know what, man, I don't even care about that little thing that's kind of like nitpicky, whatever, because I feel like the rest of the stuff that they're doing looks really cool. And I have the feeling that they actually like Star Wars. That's all I care about. When I hear someone get a project, so like John Watts, if he's announced 2 weeks from now to either do a season 2 of this or to do his own movie or something like that, or just another show with new characters, I'm hyped. I'm like, hell yes, man. Like I get it. I'm going to get excited because he did a great job with this. Just like Tony Gilroy, I thought did a really good job with the Andor first season, and that second season is about to come out. I'm excited for it more than I thought I would be because of the fact they did so well in the first season. And that's all I want to see is like, okay, cool. You're able to do a project. Tell me what you love about Star Wars first and foremost. Why are you wanting to even work? Because if you don't care about Star Wars, or if you don't care about Lord of the Rings or whatever it is, no matter what IP it is, don't step into the arena. Don't. Like if you don't have the respect for those franchises and you come in there trying to change the whole world and everything, don't do it. Step away and go and create something else or something like that you actually love and passionate about. That's the problem I see a lot of times, especially big IPs. There's a lot of people that spend a lot of money. Like we want to laugh and joke about people making comments because you're like, oh, that's so stupid. Like, why are you complaining about this? Well, you don't know that person's life, man. Like, you know, they may have spent hundreds of thousands, some people that's got a lot of money, maybe even $1 million on things that they cared about in Star Wars. And they want that stuff to still be with them and them hold it so important and stuff. So I understand sometimes, you know, when people will complain about certain things when it comes to like a world that they've spent a lot of time to learn. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I think this show did great with that. With that being said, I think this show did great. And John Watts, baby, chef's kiss. Give me another show. Give me another season. Whatever it is, I'm down for it.
Yeah, he did great with this show. We also got a little bit of Jod's backstory in this episode.
Yep, they went back to, well, I wouldn't say the prequel era. I guess it could technically be, but like it's according on his timeline. Like, so they didn't 100% say it. I mean, you could guess, and maybe he's old enough to be alive then, because this is right after the original trilogy, before the sequel trilogy. So like he could be old enough, I guess, to be in that thing where he was like really young, maybe like 10 or 11 or something whenever it happens. But he actually had a Jedi master that was trying to teach him, and he only learned a couple of things. So he's not a Jedi like everybody tried to say just because he had a lightsaber at one point. He got trained in a very minor way before they got hunted down. But I don't know, like, as far as him and his master, if they were killed immediately, right? Like during Order 66, maybe they got away and maybe it was a few years down the road, but she still got, I think because he said, I think it was her that was the master.
Yeah.
Like, so I think like she may have got hunted down maybe later, you know, like while Vader's going around doing his thing. Because a lot of people may not know that don't know Star Wars as good as some of the other folks. But during that whole time, not every Jedi died during Order 66. Darth Vader, during the time leading up to A New Hope, actually went and hunted down random Jedi that got found, and he would go hunt them down and kill them. So could be during that time as well.
Yeah. Jude Law's 52 years old. So
like in the show or just like at 52 years old?
In real life.
Yeah.
In real life. He's 52 years old. So they cast an old enough actor, I think, that it could be someone from Order 66.
Right. But I mean, to be honest with you, I think it'd be cool if it wasn't Order 66, like this Jedi Master kind of survived and was able to hide out, found somebody that had the Force, started trying to train them, and whenever she starts using the Force and stuff, somehow another Vader felt that, whatever.
That would be cool. Yeah.
And went and killed her ass, you know what I'm saying? Like Vader does. All hell Vader. Oh.
No.
The Darth one. All right, so let's go down the road, say any kind of last thoughts or anything, and give final scores for like not only this episode but for the season.
I love it. I give it like a 9, and I don't usually give shows 9s. This was so far beyond my expectations for it, and I will look forward to watching it again, because I don't really feel that way about a lot of the Star Wars shows. I kind of watch them and then never want to see them again. But this one I will watch again, which is good.
Yeah, agree. I agree. Brandi.
I like the show. Like, I give this episode an 8.5, and I give the show as a whole an 8.5, which is really good for me. So I liked it, and yeah, that's my score.
Me, I really dug it. This is one of the few projects I've been able to, and it's kind of sad, man, because it was a pot of gold sitting on the hill. But this would be like if my son was still up right now, because we're recording this kind of late, he might be asleep. But if he was still up right now after watching this final episode and seeing the entire show, this is one of the few things that I've seen with Star Wars, especially after Disney's bought it, to like go and say, hey, son, sit down, watch this season of Skeleton Crew. Like, he's not a big Star Wars fan, but I think he would watch this and really like this show and might become like a semi Star Wars fan, right? Like, oh, okay, cool. Like, this is cool. And everything else. So congratulations to John Watts. Congratulations to the people that I'm also going to be honest, stayed out of the way. Because like I said, 2 of the best shows they've done so far, Andor and this one, I feel like the leaders stood back and said, well, we don't, not trying to say they didn't care at all, but I don't think they cared enough to be there like all the time. Like, and they let these people go and do their projects, go and do their thing. And, you know, maybe they had to talk to Dave Filoni about a certain character, like, hey, we're going to possibly do this. Like, what do you say with this or something like that, right? What timeline, and make sure they're getting everything correct for a timeline or something like that is all fine. But like, I actually felt the 2 projects that seems like, oh yeah, we're greenlighting these because we have trust in Gilroy or Watts, either one. We're going to let them do their thing because guess what? You know, the Andor thing's in a contained space with characters you already know from the movie, Rogue One. So like, I don't think they thought they would have to worry about that too much. And the same thing when it comes to this, a whole new cast of crew of characters, like I said, except for like what you said, the pirate that happened to be one of the pirates that, you know, was in The Mandalorian. It doesn't really connect with anything. So guess what? They kind of, and it's new characters. So like, if you screwed these characters up, nobody knows that you screwed an important character up because they haven't done anything else, right? So, and yeah, they was left to their own devices and knocked it out of the park. I think like Andor and this is and the first couple of seasons of Mandalorian, I'd definitely tell somebody to watch because they're enjoyable, they're fun. You don't have to love Star Wars to like them and all that kind of thing. But if you like Star Wars, there's enough in there. This felt like a Star Wars story to me.
It did.
Yeah, straight up. Like you had fun. It was a fun adventure. You know what I'm saying? They even threw the lightsaber in there. They didn't even really have to, I don't think, in this show to do that. But I think, hey, it's cool. There's a lightsaber that lights up. Guess what? We get to sell a lightsaber. And there's going to be a lot of other nerds trying to find out whose lightsaber that was at one point that was in that thing, which can be fun, for nerds to deep dive on. I'm going to wait till a super sweaty ass nerd finds out the answer. I'm not going to do the search, but I'll find the answer out so that I know it. But yeah, that is what it is. But yeah, final, I give this thing an 8. There was just a couple of like that one episode, just a couple of little nitpick things here. 8. It's like I said, it might have got a 9. I know y'all don't agree with this. That's one thing cool about it is everybody's not gonna agree on everything. But and I actually think you brought up a good possibility, Adelia, with like the father dying. I think that would have hit me enough too, because like he had just got up with his son. They're back together. They're doing the thing, and then the father like sacrifices himself for them to be able to win and take control.
But then he would have been an orphan.
Yeah. Who cares? We worry about that later in a season 2 or something. But you know what?
I bet Neil's family would have took him in.
Yeah, Neil's family, any of the families, really, KB's parents, whatever, Mayo just took care of him. So I ain't worried about that. But I do think that could have pushed it up to a 9, because I would have been like, oh shit, like, oh man, I'm not crying, you crying kind of situation, right? So that'd have been one of those times where the tear almost gets to my beard and I suck it back in my eyeball kind of moment. So that would have lifted it up to like a 9. But 8 super high, definitely A minus, like as a letter grade score. But damn, yeah. If they said tomorrow, Skeleton Crew, I hope this thing catches word of mouth, because it is not doing good on because there are Nielsen ratings and stuff for streaming things for like new shows and stuff. This never even touched the top 10. And I think that's a damn shame, because I actually think it's probably a top 10 show. I actually literally think that out of the 10 shows that you show me of new shows, right? Because they have different ones. They have like the old stuff graded, watch hours and stuff, and then they have this stuff. So like, I actually think this is a top 10 new show. No doubt. And I think a lot of people are prejudging it because they're pissed off at Disney. And I think some people didn't give it a chance just because it was, labeled made for kids and that kind of thing. And I think they missed out. So hopefully they come around and watch it. And we might, I don't know if you need a season 2, but I would have liked that end. Like you said, it was kind of abrupt. That was an abrupt ending for a show that may not even have a season 2 to it.
Yeah.
But anything else?
There's going to be something.
I think there's got to be something that continues this. Yeah.
You don't know these days, man. Netflix, and this ain't Netflix, but Netflix is like the world's worst. They'll have like a banger season everybody's talking about, and then for no reason.
Well, we're not doing a season 2. The barrier's open. They all see the sky now, and now we gotta find out like who's now going to be in charge of everything. How's everything going to be running now? Like
the first order.
Everybody else, they're going to have somebody else try to come through the barrier now that they know that they have their minted stuff.
All these kids that you saw, Kylo Ren showing up and slaughtering every single one of them. Okay?
No.
They're dead.
No.
Justin.
No.
Kylo Ren.
Why do you want kids to die?
Do you not see the shit behind me? Name, except for, literally except for the 2 right here at the bottom that I got at the bottom. But even in Mario World, I'm the bad guy.
So that means children must die?
This is Imperial Boba Fett over here behind me. This ain't when he turned good. This is Darth Vader. This is Shadow Trooper helmet right here, signed by John Carlos Esposito right here. They killed a lot of innocent folks. And then I got Bowser, who tried to kill Mario, people's like almost favorite character for video games.
Brandi,
I don't know. I don't know.
There's a Kylo right here that lights up. He's about to go murder him. Like, sorry, but that's what happened.
Kylo did not murder these kids. Guaranteed.
He took them out.
No.
Justin.
I hope he gets Grogu.
Oh my God, Justin.
With that being said, being 100% with you guys, I had a fun time.
Justin, stop being so silly, please.
Listen, man, 10 years from now, they won't be kids anymore. They'll be like adults. Okay? So at least let them live until adulthood. Till next time. Peace.
What? No.
Until next time, peace and let the
No.
force be with you. Yes.
No.
Join that Ko-Fi. Grab that cup of coffee. Join the
Don't
Ko-Fi.
don't stop playing the credits.
Like and subscribe.
I knew he heard me. That's why.
I said like and subscribe like 20 times a day, like when I was watching the basketball game. So
I know you
I
did.
just forgot
I know.
this time.
ko-fi.com/LGRN_network. Join us on the post credits for the next show we watch, which we don't know what that is yet.
Maybe not with Justin.
No,
maybe not with Justin. Justin wants to kill kids.
SM33 actually like gets flipped back to what he was before, like KB got a hold of his ass, and it's done.
Just end it.
He became super scary man. All right. Good night, guys.